Hey everybody, Jim from Slick Cyber Systems, www.slickcybersystems.com. Today I am going to talk about a new phenomena from Microsoft. Actually, I can't see with this. I can't see the small stuff without them. Anyways, last Friday, and that would have been the 12th, Microsoft, in their infinite wisdom, made a change. And that change basically was this. So I'll explain the symptom and the situation. It would probably be easier to get it this way. And then if you find that it pertains to you, follow the bouncing ball. And it is a very quick fix, easy fix, but let's go from there. So you have a hosted Exchange server external. What do I mean by that? So not an internal Exchange server. By the way, this is for tech people, this video. So internal Exchange server should not be affected by this at all. It should simply work. So you have an Outlook account and you want to set up a new user, you're setting up an existing user, new computer, fire up Outlook 2016, it's going to grab Active Directory and populate all the stuff and bang, done. Okay, move on. And I'm not talking about Office 365. That is actually part of the problem. I am talking about ones that would be hosted externally elsewhere, like a Rackspace or a oneonone.com or what have you. So when you go to set up Outlook in the past, when you went to set up Outlook in the past, what it did, and should have done and should still be doing, is it actually went to what's called an auto-discover record. So, and I'm sure those of you watching this are already aware of it. So that auto-discover record obviously told, Outlook everything it needed to know about the server and the account and blah, 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 blah. And then it populated it and you moved on and did your thing. Well, it doesn't work that way anymore, guys. Sorry. Unless you're using, of course, Office 365, which is the entire ploy for Microsoft doing this. A Google tactic is now a Microsoft tactic. Lovely. So, long story short, is we need to work around it, and it absolutely can be worked around. So the symptom is you go to set up the account, and it shows that it's set it up, but no email populates in, and you're sitting there scratching your head, and then you go into the properties, the account properties, and you look, and you don't see your email address. You see some Outlook underscore and a pretty long SID, bunch of numbers and letters, at outlook.com. And you're like, wait a minute, that's not right. And you delete it, and you do it again, and the same thing happens. That is caused by the following. You have, or that person has, a Microsoft account with your actual Exchange email address. So what it does, just like Google, in the back end, it actually creates an outlook.com address. So really, the alias inside of Microsoft's little world is the email that you're using to log in, and it allows you to do that, but it ties back to this Outlook underscore long name, at outlook.com. Again, now we're talking not about an Exchange Office 365. Now we're talking about this would be you have it hosted somewhere else. So I'm just reiterating that because Office 365, it'll grab it and run and everything will work fine. So the way around it is very simple. You go to the website, and I'm just looking it up here. It's https:// account.microsoft.com/profile. So log into that, obviously as the user, as the email that you're trying to set up. And so I'm going to use mine as the example. So jslick@slickcybersystems.com. It's my email address. And I happen to use it for, Microsoft Store or what have you. The Microsoft stuff that you almost have to have. Like if you go to use Store, you got to have an account, right? So or even setting up Windows anymore kind of forces you into, it tries to force you into that game. So again, what I said is it's creating this Outlook.com address as kind of the alias. So when you log into that, you're going to see all the email addresses, all those weird looking SID, the Outlook underscore at Outlook.com. Leave them alone. You delete them. You just deleted your account. But you're going to see the I'll use the term offending email address. So the email address that you need for your Exchange server. So here's what you do. You go into the control panel of your Rackspace, one-on-one, whatever external hosting, Exchange hosting service that you have, and you add what's called an alias. If you don't know how to do that, look it up. It's very simple. So you're basically adding another email address to your to the individual profile. It does not cost anymore. And if it does, change providers. Come talk to us. We'll get you one. So let's just say I'm going to create an alias j.slick@slickcybersystems.com. Now I can receive mail from there, without a problem, and it comes into my inbox right with my other stuff. So that's why they call it an alias. It's there. You're a tech person, you should know that. So you go back over to the Microsoft account, and you now add that alias into the Microsoft account. And it's going to ask you to verify it, so go through the verification process. Once that alias address is verified, so again, in my case, the j.slick account is there, then there's a little box, a little button there. It says make primary. Make it the primary. So that will now be your login. Then, once that is primary, then you go down and find in my case, the jslick@slickcybersystems.com, or the actual Exchange server address that you're trying to set up. And there's a little remove button next to the make primary, and you remove it, get it out of there. So now all you should see is all the other email addresses and gobbledygook are there, and you should have that new alias as your primary. Now you're golden. So now you can go back over to Outlook and re-add it, and here's what happens. So Outlook now goes over to the Microsoft world first and says, hey, in the Microsoft world of Outlook.com and Office 365 and all the crap that we do, do you see this email address? Oh, you don't see the email address. Now it will pass it over to AutoDiscover. And then AutoDiscover can continue to do its thing. Everything will work perfectly. Your Exchange will be set up. You're going to be smiling. Your customer's going to be smiling. Great. Awesome. So just need to remember now for that particular user that their login to the Microsoft stuff, store, etc., is no longer that regular email address. It's the alias. So in my case, the j.slick@. That's it. The only other thing I want to note is if you have a Microsoft phone, it is going to trash the phone. You're going to have to reset it up again with that new alias as opposed to the other. It is what it is, guys. Throw the phone away. Get a new phone if it bothers you that much. But it is that simple. It's a very simple procedure. You just need to understand it. And, of course, Microsoft threw it on the world without telling anybody in their usual fashion of, oh, hey, we're making improvement. Yeah, for them, not necessarily you. So I'm not ripping on Microsoft, to rip on Microsoft, because believe me, they're all crap today. But understand how it works. So very simple fix to a very simple problem, and you're up and running, business as usual. Any questions, you can give us a call, 570-371-5800. It's 371-5800, area code 570. We are in Northeast Pennsylvania, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Right now it's daylight. Next month it'll be standard. That crap goes. And you can reach us at sales@slickcybersystems.com, or you can visit us on the web at www.slickcybersystems.com. And hey, we hope to hear from you at some point. You have any other questions, give us a howl. Thanks much. Cheers. Take care.